that means it's recording. Okay, cool. So where are you right now? Are you in your rehearsal space?
Yes, this is my tiny studio near to my apartment, our apartment in Helsinki. So yeah, this is where I spent my time doing interviews and editing uh, music and sometimes composing stuff and so forth. So
Yeah, yeah, cool. So you
sauna like that.
so you do other interviews too?
No, not today.
Okay, because I was hoping that I was going to be the only I was hoping that I would be your first interview and the only interview you've ever done. So um
Yeah.
just being sorry. I've
So
got a bit of an American sarcastic sensibility. Sorry?
where do you living?
Oh, I'm living in Boise, Idaho.
Okay,
Um, yeah,
that's nice.
have you heard of it?
We've been there once. We had a day off there. It was really nice town. We had some tequilas, margaritas on the main avenue, and it was a great day actually. And
Yeah.
there was like a huge record store which
Yeah.
we visited.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good memory. Yeah, Record Exchange it's called. Um,
yeah,
that's a great memory. They've got a bunch of your records there. Um,
yeah.
which is really cool. And you have quite a few right now. So I wanted to start by giving you a little gift, which is a card that says it's a birthday card, and it says "Stop being so great."
You
And
have,
it's because it's your 25th birthday as a band, right?
yeah. Well, I haven't counted years, but could be somewhere pretty close actually.
Yeah,
Uh,
because yeah. You joined in 1990, right? I think
yeah,
maybe.
I was one of the forming members of Amorphis.
Yeah.
And I exited the band for a while in 99,
Yeah.
and then I rejoined in I don't know, was it 2017 or 18 anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Go ahead.
Yeah,
No, sorry.
counting.
What was that?
Counting years still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Um, can you by the way, I wanted to say how much I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. And I'm sorry that the first time we were going to coordinate didn't work out. And I've wanted to interview you for a very long time. So it's a real gift to have the opportunity to speak with you. And huge fan of your band. And last time I saw you was I think it was Brutal Assault, maybe.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I think it was a show. But but I wanted to ask you about that. I hate to ask questions that other people have already asked you before, but I am kind of curious, like why you left, and then why you left the band for a little bit, and then what brought you back. You're
it was a kind of hard time for Amorphis in the late 90s because the record sales started to dip there.
yeah,
And of course, the band softened its sound a little bit,
yeah,
and I wasn't that like feeling that comfortable with it at time,
right,
you know. Um, and I had a son, then I started a family, and that's not the reason. I formed, of course, formed another band called Manhai, then Stoner Rock, and it's just like felt like I enjoyed playing music again with a new band. So since I was hard for Amorphis, I kind of thought that, well, why I'm uh, staying there and trying to break their um, like uh, yeah, the guys obviously wanted to go on with the new style, and I didn't. So it would have been wrong to stay, in my opinion. So,
Mhm.
and since I like to play new kind of music, just for fun, and that was not that serious. Of course, we made records and toured in Finland and on boards as well in Europe. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a new beginning for me, and it sounded for me it sounded good and it felt good and it was good fun
Yeah.
to be around and to play just brainless rock and roll music for a change, which I
Right.
didn't do before at all. But
Yeah.
because I started with the metal in the first place, my first band was speed metal band, and then I ended up to play death metal, and I I started with rehearsing and practicing AC/DC and Kiss songs when I was a little kid. So I kind of wanted to go to that direction for once.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So that was it. It's kind of there wasn't one reason.
Right. Right.
So there were several things which didn't match at that stage. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to tell you, like open it precisely, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's the main reason. Musical reasons mainly, you know.
Right. Right. How's your family doing?
My family's doing all right. My kid is actually 28 years old now, and he's traveling in Spain currently.
Oh, cool.
And my wife is warming up the sauna currently at home, so
Uh-huh.
I'm heading there after this.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of other projects that you created, last year you put out a record with Octoploid, which is really cool. And I'm wondering, at that point, did you feel comfortable having a second band in addition to Amorphis? Like there was no friction there, and you were able to do another kind of music in addition to sticking with Amorphis?
Well, yes, that's kind of natural thing right now for me to do because, well, back in the days when I formed another band and uh, left Amorphis, it was simply because I wanted to concentrate on one thing fully. And, right now, it's because Octoploid is my own band.
Mhm.
I'm the lead of the band, and it's my solo band. So basically, I can do whatever I like. I don't need to do any compromises with Octoploid,
Yeah.
which was the case with Manhai like before.
Hmm.
It was kind of equal band, but the Octoploid isn't. So
Yeah.
that's just something. Well, apart from Amorphis, I guess I would compose music anyway. I would stay here in my small working room and write music no matter what. But it's still right now. I don't know what was the case before, but previously I didn't feel like I could handle two at once. But
Uh-huh.
right now it's a little bit different thing because Amorphis is really professional band and
Yeah.
we don't actually rehearse that much. We only rehearse when we enter the studio right before that
Uh-huh.
and before the shows, of course. But I'd
Right.
say that we are probably going to the rehearsing slot maybe one or two times a year maximum. So I have a lot of spare time on my own, so which wasn't the case with Amorphis back then because uh, yeah, well, it's hard to remember, but anyhow,
Mhm.
times are different right now, and
Yeah.
it's just pretty natural for all of us to have our own side projects. Like Esa is having Silver Lake, and
Hmm.
Tommy is having solo band as well, Björke, and
Okay.
on Cemetery Skyline.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, right.
It's we don't need to dedicate ourselves to one project only right now.
Yeah, yeah. Cemetery Skyline's pretty badass. I like
So
them. Cemetery Skyline's pretty badass. I like them quite a bit.
It's
Yeah.
good lineup and great
Yeah.
musicians. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to go back to something you mentioned before, which is how Amorphis has changed styles over the years. And I'm wondering, and I don't know if you're able to answer this question honestly, because it's kind of a tough question, but like when you guys were changing your styles over the years, and you've been around for 25 years now or so, or what am I talking about? 35 years, right?
Yeah.
Why was I saying 25? 35 years. Were you guys constantly changing styles in order to build a larger fan base, or to maybe even back then get on the radio? Or did you want to challenge yourselves, or did you just feel kind of like bored with what you were doing before? You know?
Well, in the early years, it was just kind of natural progression. It's our musical taste has changed quite a bit during the years. And of course, we listened to Pink Floyd and stuff like that in the 80s already, but we were kind of when you're young, you're kind of a purist when it comes to music.
Yep.
So that was the case with us as well. In the very beginning, we just listened to death metal and
Right.
metal music in general, but it soon changed. We started to get into progressive music again, and we started to listen to Finnish folk music, for example, and some guys started to listen to bands like Kent, for example, from Sweden, and Björk from Iceland, and
Which band was that from Sweden?
Kent.
Kent. Okay.
Uh, well, kind of stadium rock stuff,
Oh,
or
okay.
maybe U2 or something like that.
All
But
right.
of course, that's where our musical tastes started to go to different directions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's from there on, it's hard to find the mutual red line.
Yeah.
Um, but when they returned to the roots, when Tommy Oates entered the band with Eclipse album, it's been
Yeah.
I think the music hasn't changed that much ever since.
Right.
Uh, it's kind of melodic death metal with some I don't know which kind of twist. There's lots of piano and it's kind
Yeah.
of it's kind of sometimes even like radio friendly music, but still there is crawling vocals on top of that. So
Hmm.
uh, but that was the case with Amorphis even on albums like Elegy and Tuonela. So
Right.
we weren't that aggressive band ever. We were just like atmospheric music and like easy listening death metal, if you could say so. We didn't have like that much blast beats, for example, and it's not exactly like mosh pit music or like
Right.
even true it's death metal, but still. But right now it's it's just where we stand currently, and it's kind of a you could even it sounds bad, but you could say it's kind of compromise for everyone, in the band.
Mhm.
So that's the reason why we have all these solo projects because
Mhm.
Amorphis kind of music, and if we have different kind of ambitions, we do it somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think it's good. It's great thing that we have found like a mutual note with Amorphis and the style, and
Yeah.
we are doing the kind of music we all agree to do. And it's
Yeah.
we don't have any need to do like experiments right now. Maybe someday, I don't know, but I don't know. We are kind of we are touring a lot, for example, so we don't even have time sit down and try to come up with something like crazy
Okay.
right now. But back in the days, in the 90s, we were just, uh, we spent like so much time in a rehearsing slot with each other. So it
Mhm.
was kind of natural to try out things and see what works. And that's why there are so many influences in, for example, Elegy album.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
There's death metal, there's like tango and techno and you name it. So
Yeah.
so the experimenting happened then. So therefore, we don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah, yeah, that makes total. The way you describe it makes total sense. Um, so are you surprised that like at least here in the States, I don't know how it is over there, but like death metal, like if you're in a metal band, a new metal band now, you're in a death metal band. Like it's all about death metal here. And I don't know how it is over there, but are you surprised that death metal has come around again in such a strong fashion, so much so that it almost like overwhelms all the other subgenres of metal, you know? Mhm.
Well, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. It's for example, in Finland, there's like great death metal scene right now,
Uh-huh.
and it's a kind of it's not that mainstream death metal. It's like original rough death metal, and
Yeah. Yeah, old school. Yeah.
they're actually trying to mimic the original sound as well.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, it's a I don't know why that happened right now. Maybe there was sort of a speed thrash metal boom a few years back, so
Yep.
maybe it's just going in natural cycles,
Sure.
and it's kind of old enough genre to be um, revisited by the youngsters because they haven't lived that era
True.
themselves.
True.
So it's kind of exciting music for them, and
Right. Yeah.
uh, it's really hard to say.
Yeah.
Like personally, um, when I was teenager, of course, I wanted to listen bands like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. And if you think about it, those weren't that old bands back then in the
Yeah.
90s. It was
Mhm.
only uh, 10 or 20 years when they were in their heydays, those bands. So maybe that's the same phenomenon which is happening right now with death metal.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say. It's just heartwarming to see that lots of death metal gigs and happenings are selling out right now in Finland.
Mhm.
The bands are especially trying to mimic the sound uh, which we had in the 90s and not try to get rid of the modern metal
Mhm.
production right now, which is kind of great thing in my opinion because
Yeah.
I think it's like a little bit too overwhelming right now. The production it's
Right.
too polished and
Yeah.
like kind of dull, if you
Right.
could say. Of course, there are bands like Lorna Shore, which is like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
taking that thing to new extreme, and that's of course great. But if you listen to old Morbid Angel albums, for example,
Mhm.
they sounded, back then they were sounding like they are really like not overproduced, but produced really well. But
Mhm.
if you listen to them now, it's um, it's a little bit rough
Right.
as well.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but of course it's a different thing nowadays with Pro Tools and
Mhm.
limited tracks and so forth. So and
Yeah.
possibly edit and tune the tracks. But back then it was just recording and trying to punch in when there was mistakes.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
did our yeah.
Well, you make a really good point because I hadn't thought of it that way, but like, music goes in cycles. And a lot of times one type of music comes along that's sort of a what do you call it, a backlash against the previous music. And then and there's a backlash against that new music, and it kind of goes on that way for a while. But But you're right, because if a whole generation of young people hadn't experienced, the death metal scene in the 80s, and it's, so they weren't there for it, it makes total sense that they'd want to kind of recreate, that in their own way, and then experience, just, how fun it is, and how, bare bones it can be. And I think the other thing too, and this is just me, I'm rambling, but there's so much, we're just surrounded by so much technology now. And everything's so easy and it to do. At the same time, you feel like you're being watched all the time. There's surveillance state. So I can see why younger people would want to get into a studio with very little technological presence or tools, and just bring music down to its kind of primal element where they can really feel it and not feel the distractions or the trappings of all the, new technology that's out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes, I do. And
Yeah.
well, I tried to generate a metal song with Suno and AI, and it actually sounded like a modern metal production and
Yeah.
like a mainstream metal band. So it was instantly there. So
Yeah.
what these young guys are doing and youngsters are doing is that something that anyone cannot just carbon copy.
Yeah.
It's not possible to create that stuff with artificial intelligence.
Right.
No, I don't know. That's also a little bit worrying that AI music actually sounds like a real metal music.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for any other genre, maybe rock music, it doesn't sound that natural because it's kind of organic in the first place. But metal
Yeah.
music is kind of artificial nowadays.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah. A little more susceptible to being kind of co-opted by AI or infiltrated by AI. Yeah. I hadn't thought of
Yeah.
that. That's a really good point. Um, so you've been touring a lot, you said, and you're still touring behind Halo, yeah, from 2002?
Yes, we toured in the States. I think in North America we toured. Was it last year? No, I can't remember.
It was last year. Yeah.
Yeah, we started with Halo in 2002, if
Hmm.
I remember correctly, and I think it
2000,
was
2022. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah,
2022. It was still like a COVID time, tail
right.
of COVID time. So
Yeah.
it was when we started in. I think it was in New York. We started, and people were still wearing masks, and we toured maybe 5 weeks. And in the end of the tour, it was already over. So lots of stuff happened in that period. And well, anyhow, yeah, we were touring with Halo 2 times in North America in 22 and 24.
Right.
And I think we did a couple tours in Europe and several in Finland. And
Yeah.
this time we widened, like narrowed a little bit because we didn't tour in Russia for obvious reasons,
Mhm.
but still to South America and Japan, for example. So
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. Am I the only person, or am I wrong in thinking that Halo and Queen of Time are your best records? I fucking love those records.
well, well, I don't know. I think uh, James Booker's production is pretty solid, and
Yeah,
it's only like especially Queen of Time.
yeah.
Of course, it's like emotional thing as well because it was my first after the break,
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure.
and well, of course, Halo is it's a different album than Queen of Time because it's a little bit more guitar driven, and
Mhm.
since it was done in COVID times, we did it virtually, and we didn't even meet Jens Bogren during that session, and
Mhm.
it's kind of a hard album. Like it's not easy to get into. Like
Hmm.
if you listen to it first time, it's a
Hmm.
little bit hard to get into, but still it like stands
Inaccessible.
stands the test of many listens. So it's
Hmm.
possible to get into it and find find like several things you cannot find in the
Sure.
first. So it's in that sense it's a I like that album as well.
Yeah.
Guys have done like great albums before, like Skyforger is great and
Sure. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Under the Red Cloud. So
Oh God, yeah. Jeez.
yeah,
Okay. We'll just say that every album you put out has been great. How about that? We'll leave it at that.
maybe one or two which I
Okay.
don't mention.
So maybe one or two I'll mention. Yeah, yeah. I know you said that you guys when you're on tour, you don't do any writing for the next album. And I imagine when you're done touring, you're going to want to take a bit of a break. But do you have any sort of ideas of where the next album might go? Do you have any sort of, have you had any discussions or like thoughts about, either pursuing new territory or revisiting older territory that you maybe haven't done for a while? Do you have any sort of image of what that next album could be? Yeah.
Well, we actually think that much about where we should go and
Yeah.
what should we do. It's just the process is pretty simple. When we uh, end the touring cycle for like the last time, for example, we just add our new music, new demos to OneDrive, Google Drive or whatever,
Yeah.
and then the producer of choice will go there and download the stuff and listen to it and comes up with maybe 12 songs which are the best in his or her opinion. So
Yeah.
that's the process, and then we just start to rehearse them and a little bit rearrange them probably. Then we just enter the studio, and this is really like a quick process if you think about it. It's like
Yeah.
last time when we ended up the last tour in North America, we did couple shows in Finland, and then after 1 month we were already in the studio
Oh,
tracking tracking the drums.
wow.
So it's really quick process and
Yeah.
really hectic one as well. So there's not much time to. Maybe you can like try to be creative with your own personal playing and make some give up some ideas about the arrangements and stuff like that. But basically, there's not much more to do.
Okay. Okay.
But right now.
Have you had a hand in production as much now that you've rejoined the band as you did before you were in the band, or do you have more of a hand in production than you did before? Or
Well, it's a different kind of ball game than it used to be. It
yeah.
was with, for example, well, Tuonela was the first album when we had a proper producer, Simon FMA,
Mhm.
and he made the choices for the songs, and that was the first time for Amorphis for having a producer. But with Elegy, I think we just made the songs that ended up to the album, and
Yeah.
therefore there wasn't any kind of selection. We just composed the stuff together. I mean, like we, if you look at the writing credits in Elegy, for example, there are like several persons in different songs, and nowadays it's just one song per one guy.
Sure.
So so we basically did songs together. We brought riffs and arranged them together. That was totally different
Yeah. Okay.
process than it is nowadays because well today is of course it's easy to just compose music on your own at your home studio and come up with a like entire song. But that wasn't the case back then. It was just easier to do the arrangements together at the rehearsal. But, well, it was kind of a interesting and fun way to work as well. But it's really time consuming. That's why we can enter the studio today after the tour. But back then it wasn't possible because we had to rewrite the songs together after touring. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
Do you have any concerns about coming back to the United States to tour, given not only the fact that in the first place there were all the problems with visas and the expenses, those things are so expensive. You guys obviously have a huge following here. So you played the United States many times, but with everything that's going on politically, especially with sort of the demonization of people who aren't from this country, which I know is happening across the world, but really, it's at a flashpoint here. Have you guys had conversations about maybe not touring the States for the next album or the next time you do?
Well, we never actually thought it that way. It's
Okay.
just like it's kind of default thing that we will come over if it's possible. And
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's been already plans to come over to States, but still, it's I don't know. It's we don't talk much politics with our listeners,
Sure. Okay. Fair enough.
yeah, and we try to be discreet in that sense. You know, it's
Yeah.
crucial thing to uh, well, I don't know. I have my opinions about many things, but I don't want to.
Mhm.
Of course, I want to discuss it, but still, it's not probably the correct forum to do it. You know.
I understand. I understand. That's totally fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are not a political band like Rage Against the Machine, for example, and or whatever punk rock band. You know, it's this is just music,
Yeah.
but still, of course, you have to make choices sometimes. But the case with North America isn't with the visas. That's the problem because so that costs lots of money for us
Yeah.
when we come over right now. So
Right.
that's the one um, objection. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say. You know, we have to sell lots of shirts in order to make money for
Mhm.
touring there anyway. So it's gonna be even harder nowadays.
Right. Yeah. Just a couple more questions. First of all, do you is there one Amorphous concert in your mind that stands out as being the best one, either for you on a personal level or for the whole band?
Hmm. Well, I don't know. It was I don't know. It was if it was a like good show, but it was pretty exciting to play in Wacken a couple of years back
Yeah.
because I don't know how many people there were, like 40,000 or something, but it was uh, like a night time and we had full light set up and it was on a main stage
Yeah.
and well that was pretty exciting and of course it's I think it's on YouTube if you want to check it out but I don't
Yep,
know
I have.
of it wasn't you know the most energetic shows probably because of the excitement and the stage was big and
Yeah.
so forth but of course we've played probably our next best shows in Finland or in Germany because
Yeah.
in Finland, of course, it's our home and we can do some crazy shit on stage then. And
Right.
it's a little bit different from the outboard countries.
Yeah.
And Germany, we have the biggest audiences, of course.
Yeah, of course. I've seen some of that show on YouTube and it's phenomenal. Yeah, it's really cool to see and they shot it really well. So my last question is uh kind of a tough one. Were you close with with Thomas Lindbergh, and do you have any memories or anecdotes that you could share if you were?
Well, I personally, I think I'm not sure if I even have met him ever.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
so I, that he was a little bit like from the when we were like drawing our influences from Stockholm scene, and he was from Gothenburg. That
Right.
was a little bit different genre and scene for us. So, and yeah, I think it started a little bit later than Entombed, for example. So,
Okay. Yeah.
so they're young guys
Right.
compared. So,
Sure.
but I've only heard good things about Tompa. Like well, everybody says that he was the nicest guy in metal ever. So,
Yeah.
uh, that's my impression. And I think we played in Faroe Island once with At the Gates, and that's when I saw them first and last time. So
Yeah.
great band. It's like tragic loss
Yeah.
for metal community and the music world in general.
Absolutely. And just one more question. If it were up to you with Amorphis, if you could kick out one member of the band, who would it be? Who do you want to see gone from the band? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't have to answer that question. I just wanted to end on a funny note. It's hard for Americans to make Finnish people laugh. So
Maybe, maybe after the uh, Borderland tour, I can tell you.
okay. Give me a ring, give me a holler. Yeah. Hi man. It's been such a pleasure to speak with you. Ollie, OP Lane, Silveri, Opu, the man by many names. I love it. And you've been such a sweetheart and really, really easy to talk to and very just really cool. I hope to meet you someday, and I hope to interview you again, maybe when the next album's ready. So, thank you so much for your time. Really, yeah.
Sure to see you on the tour, and whenever we'll like stop to Poise or wherever near, come to say hi, and let's have a coffee or beer or whatever.
Oh, cool, awesome. I definitely will. I'll keep that in mind. I'll hold you to it, as they say.
Well, let's go because I think there was lots of hiking paths in Boise.
Yeah. How do you remember that? How do you remember like
Because
always
I was
get?
all those people were hiking, and I
Yeah.
couldn't.
Yeah, that would be so cool to go on a hike with you, man. Okay, now I have reason to live. Well, that and the next album that you put out are the two reasons that I have to live. So, but thank you so much, really, really, man. I bet you're a great family man, and I'm sure you're a great band member, and it's been a pleasure. So good luck
Very
out
much.
there, and I'll talk with you next time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
See you.
appreciate it. Thank you very
Bye
much.
bye.
Bye. Hey.